All right, we're opening the meeting, select board meeting, August 16th at Enosburgh Fire Station. It's 6 o'clock. First on the agenda is to ask if there's any agenda items to add at this time.
I can just give a quick little Armory update, but nothing that requires like decisions or anything.
If none, then we will proceed with the agenda we have before. We were going to start on 6 o'clock. First item on the agenda is road discontinuance.
Oh, I should. Are any motions I need to be made about this?
You guys need to approve this.
So the reason why I asked is to be fair.
Same with me.
So at the last meeting, you listened to people and then at a different time,
Oh,
you major discussions.
Okay, that's what, we just needed another person. Okay,
I'll have to recuse myself on the
same, yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we're here for the public comments.
Okay.
So pursuant to the action of the Unisbury Board of Selectmen, that's probably doing that to right now. In accordance with Title 19 VSA, Section 708-711, Selectmen of the Town of Enosburgh will meet in the Public Safety Building at 83 Sampsonville Road in Enosburgh Falls on August 16th at 6 p.m. for the purpose of hearing persons interested in the discontinuance of legal trails as follows. Town Highway number 8, going Boston Post area, 0.3 tenths of a mile. Town Highway number 17 off Hopkins Bridge Road, 1.02 miles. Town Highway number 36 off Deer Run Lane, 0.1 mile. Is there something we need to add Roy, at this point?
So, the Deer Run Lane, that actually is Deer Run Lane, it's off Hidden Heights. Deer Run Lane is the name of the piece of road in question.
The first part.
So what we'll do is we're gonna take each of these town highways one at a time. It may or may not be of interest to the parties here. And what we typically do, we just allow the people, maybe give them a couple minutes
Yep,
to
yeah, a couple minutes
each to discuss their points and stuff. So the first one would be a town highway behind Boston Post Dairy, 0.3 tenths of a mile. And that one actually starts right on the highway right by the Boston Post Dairy store and shoots up into the road up to the Berkshire line where the power lines are. Correct, Joey?
Yep.
The rest of that highway that goes through is the Berkshire section. Doesn't pertain to what we're going to be talking to at this point.
I don't know if you want to explain that prior to this, it was a class 4 and we now changed it to a trail. And we're going, then petition for one more step to discontinue these 3.
Yeah, so there was all these roads were class 4 highways, and we were getting some push from the state that if they were kept in that language, we may have to do a lot of maintenance on them, and there's nothing that we have been maintaining as a town, so we took the step of warning these highway roads a year ago to put them into the trails. And at that point, there was some members of some of these highways that were put into trails wanting to go the step further and do a road discontinuance. So we had to have a public hearing to go through this process, which that's where we are tonight. We will take comments in, and afterwards, we won't make a decision right here in front of you. We'll probably go in executive session later on. I'll have to recuse myself on one of the highways, probably on another one, so we may not be able to make a decision tonight if we don't have a quorum for it. But we'll take all the public input at this point. So, I guess the first one, the Boston Post Dairy. I know my sister and brother-in-law are here, and I believe Margot's probably for that one also. So, I guess if you want to start first, Margot?
Okay, well, we support having a closed,
Okay,
having a trail very strongly.
okay.
Never want to see it open.
Well, that's good to hear, 'cause,
Yeah, no, we're 100% for it becoming a trail, and,
because what it'll do is it'll actually put it onto the property owners. It still can be open for snowmobiles and whatnot and stuff, but it'll down be their responsibility
yeah,
to maintain it or to have, allow people to use it or not use it.
So, Maureen, you said you were in support of it being a trail or discontinuing it?
I think either is fine.
yeah.
Oh,
Either
okay.
is fine, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is a trail now, it was
It's a
class
trail now.
4, and then
Yeah.
you got reclassified to a trail last fall.
Oh, did it? I wasn't aware it became a trail.
And we're in the process of making ours into a trail as well.
The Berkshire section,
Yes.
that's good to hear.
Yeah. So that's part of it's on our list to do.
It's
I'm
really-
Margot's daughter.
The town of Berkshire's going to those.
It has been on a scheduled meeting to talk about turning class 4s into trails anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So, and that's what we would prefer as well.
Yep.
So,
So, yeah, they became a trail, and then, well, some of the feedback from the hearings of that were, well, why don't we just discontinue it like these 3?
Right.
So the people petitioned, and this is for everyone now, so when it's discontinued, the right of way, the town gives up the right of way,
Right.
it goes back to the property owner,
so to get permission, you would need it from whoever owns
the
it.
landowner.
And is it just Jarvis's before?
It's very, yeah, it's very short before it hits Berkshire. And
Okay.
it's actually being used as a cow lane, goat lane.
Mm-hmm.
And the other day I had a car drive up to the driveway because they said they wanted to go to Stagecoach Road. I looked at them and I said, you aren't gonna get there this.
Yeah.
They were coming to see us,
Yeah,
right?
we had a
So-
barbecue.
But we're fine. We like, people going around. So
Yeah.
we like it being,
Yeah. Yeah, we have to just tell Google Maps. You need a horse to get through.
Exactly.
All right, so is there anything else you want to add?
For us, no?
So at this point, I'll treat some of these.
So then we wanted to,
Yeah, we support cold.
we've been, landowner's been maintaining it for, I don't know when the town of Enosburgh has stepped up and done it.
Right.
I, have no recognition.
As far as I ever know.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, it takes a process to do this, and so that's why because we've done a few of these, and it was easier last year, we got 8, 9, 10, and did them all in one big bunch, so. Yeah, I'm sure every town has a lot of these.
I thought maybe somebody from this vast would be here, because snowmobile trail goes up through there.
Well, they always ask permission and.
Oh, they do
Yeah, they
always?
do. They've
Okay.
always been really nice about it and
So they-
they'll ask permission and,
Yeah.
and we've always agreed or disagreed and we
Yeah.
work it out. So
Right.
if
Yeah,
there's
it's no
been an
different
issue,
than them.
yeah, it won't be
It
any
just happens
different.
that was a public right of way before, maybe they didn't even realize that it was, but now they just get landowner permission like they do.
Yeah,
most places
that's
around.
what they said. They'd like to do it anyways, so.
Yep.
Get
So
permission,
nothing will change unless you want it to.
as I said, yeah.
Okay, at this point, is there anybody else who needs to make a comment on Town Highway number 8? If not, we'll move on to Town Highway number 17.
So we're gonna say goodbye.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, well,
I
don't know where that is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. As Laura Haight sent a letter and I also support this of the trail from,
And the two landowners,
or
right?
the owner.
Laura Haight, she's in New York, Haigh.
And she actually emailed me today and said, do I need to participate in any way? I said, no, the letter was fine.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so if that's it for that one, we're gonna go to town highway number 36, off the Ron Lane, is .1031.
Have you received any other correspondence from Random? Nothing. So from my vantage point, and I bought the place 30 years ago this year, so nothing's ever been done by the town to it, which is fine with us, but I measured from the center of Krieger 528 feet, and it still falls short of the gate that's there to block access up the hill. So it doesn't make sense from my standpoint to have either a class 4 or a trail, because you can't get anywhere when you get at the end, and the only way you can turn around is now you're trespassing. So may as well discontinue it.
I got an email, just trying to find somebody that has one of the camps up above you. He was concerned because he got the registered letter, and he was concerned what that meant.
And from a year, I can't even remember how long ago it was that the last meeting before we went to Zoom only. And when I showed up, and I gave Joey the Vermont statute that says anybody with an existing right-of-way maintains it. So they're not gonna lose access to their camp.
Right, it was Artie
McClellan.
McClellan,
Mhm.
and that was his, he wanted to know the whole story behind it, why we were doing it, and told him we already changed it to a trail, and
Right.
we've been petitioned to discontinue it. And he was worried about if there was water to wash down that portion once it was discontinued, and went back to the landowners. Seems how there's, I guess you guys partner up on to maintaining the trail.
Who
Okay.
partners up? So the way things are now, do you want to see a map of what it looks like? Would that help? Do you remember driving?
Yeah.
They had to do it, yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, my neighbor, Joe and Grady Guyette, do you know, off Lawyer Road, it goes just a little ways, and then it's private, and Paul Sylvester built a road that goes up around to their property. So it's his private driveway. And that's because Krieger, with the spring in it and the mud in it, wasn't conducive to them getting to work, so they had to park at the bottom of the hill, so they built their own road.
Oh, okay.
So they use that, we use that in the winter. The section we're talking about that goes off Krieger to the gate isn't even maintained. Frankly, we don't even need to use it. Anything they want to do, they're more than welcome to, as long as they just ask. You know, just say, hey, we'd like to maintain this, but it's certainly not either the Guyettes or our responsibility to maintain that road for them. Nothing in a right-of-way says that the right-of-way has to be with a 8-inch clearance 4-wheel drive vehicle. If you could ride a horse or a mule, you've still got the right-of-way. If you want to go with snowshoes, knock yourself out. But it's not our job to make sure it's passable for them. It's just they have the right to cross over it. So he wants to maintain it, he can pour the money into it.
He was, I guess he was, well, he said there wasn't really too worried about runoff. I guess it upgraded some culverts or whatever all the way up through there. They changed the culverts or whatever. But
Well, that's from the gate up. That's nothing to do with the section we're talking about.
Right.
And
But what his worries were is if the water was to run down that 1/10 of a mile and go down and wash out Montgomery's Hill, if they would be responsible. And I said, oh, I don't really know the answer to that.
they are now, even when it was a class 4 road. The old class 4, as I understood it, the town would only be responsible for culverts and bridges. And there are no bridges, there's just one culvert that's probably within 5 years of failing. But they did enough work all the way up the hill and replaced every culvert, except one.
Yeah.
Mine. So,
Yeah, and then of course his main concern was about, what about my right of way?
doesn't have
And
nothing.
I sent him the statutes on what you had given us on
Perfect.
the fact that the road discontinued, they still maintain a private right of way.
Right.
So, and that seemed, he asked several questions, emailed back and forth. I thought actually they were going to be here tonight, but they're not. So I guess maybe the questions are answered and not for.
Okay,
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
all right, thank you, Dan. Okay, so let's close the public hearing portion of the road. Discontinuance. I mean, we could,
If we could do 3 of us on the first one and then 3 of us on the second one, we can all do the last one.
so on town highway number 8, I have to recuse myself.
Okay,
And town highway number 17, Polly has to recuse herself.
right.
And we're all okay on 3-6.
So let's do the first one. With Larry recused himself. Is there any conversation or concerns around discontinuing Boston Post? If not,
So what happens if we discontinue it before Berkshire gives up their end? Anything?
No, just the Enosburgh part would be in the Berkshire part.
Have a gate across the line and or stops.
I don't even think it's
you probably would have to say,
Berkshire was sent a registered letter, so that if they had any concern or feedback, they should have come forward. It sounds like their plan is to go in the same direction, at least
Well,
to
they're
the trail.
doing on, I think, 3 roads, 3 or 4. They're not doing a big overhaul.
Maybe all they have is.
they haven't, you don't know if they've warned anything yet.
They did, I have it on my desk.
So is it to change that to a trail?
You know, I don't remember which that one was, but I'll send it to you.
That would be the only difference if Enosburgh is discontinued and not the trail. You don't know if that makes any difference.
I do want to say that they were going to be trails instead of discontinued.
Probably
I
for
don't
the
think they were
same,
doing to the lakeside either.
Yeah,
I think for the same reasons we're doing it, is changing class 4 to trail so that you wouldn't be obligated to have to do a mitigation on your road. But all Margot, she lives in, apparently owns the property, she could petition them to now discontinue it
right.
afterwards again. If they haven't, if that's not where they're going with it this time.
Is there much activity on that, you know, Larry?
No, now there's a lot of sap lines around in there. I mean, they just use it for snowmobile trails and much else. I know there's, some horses being ridden up around in there, so I think maybe Margot has horses.
Yeah.
That's probably her concern, is riding them down the trail and have a four-wheeler come fly out of there, so.
So anything else on that one? So, if you want a motion to discontinue Boston Post,
I'll move.
or not Boston Post, that would be bad. On Highway 8.3 miles behind it.
I'll make the motion to discontinue Town Highway 8
Okay.
on Boston Post area.
I'll second. So Peter, I don't know why I'm calling the question.
I'm kind of recused from now, but I guess I could still do
Okay, you can call the.
it. So Dean made motion to discontinue, and probably second that motion. Any more discussion? Have none, all those in favor besides myself? Discontinue, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, town highway number 17. Is open now and entertain any motions.
I'll move to make a Untitled Road 1.2 miles discontinued from the legal trail.
Okay, do I have a second? Phil made a motion and Dean seconded the motion to discontinue town highway number 17. Any more discussion?
Does that start right after your place, Polly? Is that
Yep.
where it starts? Yeah.
Yes, yep. Right at, if you went and viewed it,
Right.
the circle
Circle.
driveway, it's like right at the top of the driveway with start, and it runs all the way over along the Bridge Road. And half of it doesn't exist, it's Beaver Pond and all of it, yeah.
Any more discussion? Have none. All those in favor of discontinuing town highway number 17, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. So we approve the discontinuance of town highway 17. We'll move to town highway number 36.
I'll move to discontinue, Highway 36 up the Run Lane, 21, 10 mile.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Polly made the motion, Dean seconded the motion, discontinue town highway number 36. Any more discussion? If having none, all those in favor of discontinuing town highway number 36, signify by saying aye. All those opposed, say nay. Town highway number 36 is now discontinued. Approved. Okay. Next on the agenda is highway contract assigned for grant.
This one only needs one signature, and just, there you go, sign it, it's,
Oh, do you, okay, so it's not in my file?
no.
No, it's not in your file.
So I won't keep looking at it.
This is grants and aid work that we get to do and signed up for every year. Now, the only reason now is a contract for it is V-Trans is responsible for the administration of it, so they've got a contract. I can give you the whole thing if you want, but it's the same generic contract we get with all their projects. So it's for, we're entitled up to $22,900. So we gotta do like 26, 27,000 in order, worth of work in order to get that. We've already signed the letter of intent, and then this is the next step, so this will basically be for next year's fiscal year 2022. Before regional, the regional office used to take care of it, that they come out and look at the sites and do the, or it didn't actually have a contract, you just kind of signed up for it and did it, and then you get reimbursed with V-Trans. Just gonna handle it.
Wait, that should be interesting.
Yeah, it'd be like the others.
Yeah.
It was pretty,
That's what I was gonna say, it's gonna go through a pipeline.
it was
Oh, I
very
don't have
easy before, and it just get a little more complicated.
Yeah, exactly.
But not too bad yet.
And that's with all transportation grants? No, just that one.
Oh yeah, all the others are like this anyways.
Oh,
But this grants and aid work was just, like I said, you just say, oh, meet with Bethany, say,
Yeah.
oh, this is, had to be in the hydrologically connected segments.
right.
So, hey, we wanna do some work on this piece of ditch, and she said, okay, go ahead, and then you go ahead and do your work, and then you send in your reimbursement, and they come and look and make sure you did it, and then you get reimbursed for now. There's a contract. So no application before, it was just pretty easy, but I'm sure probably down the road, there'll be an application process for it.
And for the people coming to check it out.
And, yeah.
Yeah.
What department is this personnel employee, looks like you have pilots now.
I got a driveway permit here to be signed.
Is it listed there?
It's for Cross Track LLC, it's Craig Paquette on Curly Road. And kind of one of my pet peeves there, we're gonna have 3 driveways and like about a 200-foot stretch of road here, so. So it's too bad when that got subdivided, the Raymond Port owned the whole farm.
Yeah.
We didn't take that into consideration. But I didn't realize there was another lot in
Well,
between these
that's
two
the
lots.
thing
but
is,
there
there's never like one big grand plan. It was this
Pieces
plan
in as it
and
come
that,
along.
exactly.
Yeah.
So.
So there's an existing house with a driveway, an existing house with a driveway, now there'll be another one. Might be a little more than 200 feet, it might be 500.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 driveways where there could have been one, go in straight and we branch off.
Yeah, exactly. So that's 3
And,
culverts.
Well, one of them doesn't need a culvert, but this one does, and the one to the left of it does already have one.
Okay.
But anyways, I guess it's too late to change that because I see where the property lines are. The property line's here, and here's like the minimum must be 200 feet.
Right.
So in order to get them to use either one of the neighbor's driveways for an access, I mean, it would probably take some work from deed and right away and blah, blah, blah. So it's probably too late, but it's one of those things, hopefully we get that fixed now, so.
I know, actually, so did you talk to the planning commission about that piece?
I did not talk about this particular piece.
Yeah,
but I
because,
brought it
well,
up.
not that particular piece, but I mean that, in the driveway
I think you did
specs.
talk to them.
I talked to them, I didn't go to the meeting, they had a meeting.
Right.
I don't know.
You and I had talked, and I said, make sure you email what your troubles are with certain things.
Was that one of the
so
troubles
they
though?
understand.
Oh, good,
Yeah.
because that didn't even occur to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, okay.
I've been talking about it for quite a few years.
The branching off?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have one access to
one access,
3 different properties.
3 different properties,
When-
yeah, no,
when
you're right.
a
we
single landowner is subdividing, get to 10 lots or whatever.
See, I think I remember when we talked about that if it accessed 3, it had to be certain width, right? That I remember, but,
It's supposed to have been done before that,
yeah,
because
okay,
there probably should be some more language in there, because
Yeah.
it should be the difference between a residential driveway and then a 2-person driveway shared.
3, right.
And then once there's 3, maybe it's considered a private road. That's
So-
a state road, state highway, V-Trans road.
I feel like that was the case because that's when it kicked off the emergency vehicle access.
Yeah,
And that's when you were required hammerheads, was when it was 3, I felt like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
some of the ones since, like Molly Lane, for instance, up
Yeah.
there, that was like one access to at least 2 different properties.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
But this must have been part of the original pieces or something that got done before that.
And it's right on Curly Road?
Yep.
It's not the one on the corner where, that little corner where Woodard neighborhood and Curly, that
No,
one?
it's before that, as you're coming from Enosburgh Center way, on
Yeah.
the left,
Oh, before Woodard?
before Woodward.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember that
That's a bigger lot though. than just one.
Yeah, I don't
Right,
remember
It's
that.
a very good size piece.
Yeah,
That
I don't know
cross
how big it is, but yeah.
one. Yeah, I don't remember that one, that was, I don't think that was with me.
So anyways, yeah, they need to put like an 18-inch culvert, which I haven't written that in here yet, just, I guess if we want to let them go forward and do what they gotta do, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what else we can
I guess they got right to get to the property.
do. Right,
So that would be me just signing the second page, I guess, that gives them the notice.
And you said this is for Craig Pocket?
Credit pocket, yeah, so the credit applicant is Cross-Track LLC, that's what that is. Business, some sort. Credit pocket. South Hero. Or is that,
Oh, this is-
So when it says cross tracks, that's
There's
not
a
like.
different Craig Pocket than I know. Craig grew up with some of my younger brothers who
yeah,
Craig
Craig
Pockets.
is,
Right,
the one I
that's
know
what
is
I'm
Craig.
It's
This is
a business instead of a.
No, that's Joe.
Craig works for EJ Prescott.
Because cross track sounds like it's.
so-
urban.
per our bylaws, you can't have a business in that district unless you have a home. So, hopefully there's a home and not just a business.
There's nothing there now, right?
Nothing there now.
Well, so hopefully it's a business. I mean, you can't, as per, or you have, yeah. You can't have businesses in
You
that
can't
area.
just build a business.
Yeah, it's residential, or agricultural in that district, which is even stricter. And in order to open up business in those areas, it has to be a home occupation or a home industry, which means that there has to be a primary dwelling on the premises.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So I guess we'll
You
watch
know,
that
because-
one.
because actually could put a note on this driveway permit and follow the bylaws.
Or put it in Jesse's desk too.
Yeah, yeah,
That's-
yeah. You know,
that's
just
kind
have
of-
Jesse's theory on
Yeah.
it.
It's kind of something that would be nice to know if they're applying for residential driveway to build a home and then
And then,
2 years from now, put a business, maybe they need a wider driveway
well,
than
exactly, if they're,
than the 30-foot color.
which I think we ran into with somebody who wanted to do a garage for large trucks. Didn't we run into that somewhere?
So,
Yeah.
is this a residential driveway permit?
Mhm.
So that's, what we can fall back on, because
Yeah.
now you need to put commercial in there.
So, yeah, I'll put it on. I'll send you some email just to.
If it is he's having a business there, does that driveway have to meet different specs in the residential?
Well, so that was
Maybe.
the question with that
Depends on what
garage.
he's going in and out of there.
Exactly.
Now you've got tractor trailer trucks delivering or something, you might want a 40-foot color, and it's the minimum 30 for residential driveway.
And there's even specs in that section of the bylaws around parking, you can only have so many vehicles, all of that.
But maybe, I don't know why it's in that name, it just has no intentions of any type of business being there.
Maybe it's gonna be a second home, you just,
And he just,
maybe the business.
maybe he's
is
gonna work
building-
out of his home, right, or
Or
something,
business is
yeah.
building him a second home or something.
Right, or something, who knows?
It says residential right on the application, so that's what we're approving, not commercial.
On the dirt, I don't know if that's gonna be able to happen this year. Because of the bridge, get somebody to fix the bridge.
How's Bridge 50 coming? Close, not close?
Yeah, fast. I haven't-
So this is coming from
I did
Enosburgh
Center.
Center.
Yeah, you got Olivia Lane, there's another private Olivia Lane.
Yeah.
And then there's, two houses, two.
So it's almost directly across from Wooder Neighborhood Road.
It's
Yeah,
on the lower side towards,
just before Polish Rams. There's one.
yeah, so that's what I was trying to think, because I thought Apollo was right on the corner.
Yeah, there's one right straight across from Paula's, so this lot's back, one back from.
On the
back
same
from
side as
that.
Paul or across the road?
Across the road.
Across the road,
Across the road.
yeah, I don't think that was on me. I don't remember there being lots on that side. Or
Okay,
even
yeah, here's
before
a-
Woodard, actually.
No, I definitely didn't come, I was on it for you.
Yeah, so yeah, you got Olivia Lane, and then there's two houses, and then there's one across from Paula's, and this is in between. People buy that, there's some great steaks here somewhere.
Okay. Okay, well, that's good, Joy.
So that, the local emergency management plan, did you guys ever sign that sheet?
No, they approved it the last meeting. We didn't have
I got the one, Jonathan signed it.
Okay.
Well, that looks even better.
Yeah. So if you approved it, then, I guess there.
Or the declaration.
It won't be long, to get rid of these.
I know. It seems like we do it all
Yeah, it's every year it's supposed to be updated.
We're seeing little, much.
Which particularly with like everything being digital, you think they would have like a database that we could just,
So there's
you know what I mean?
What do you have to say?
Two places that are just to the right or north.
I know, I was just trying to see why.
He's wondering why two places.
Oh, yeah,
That's what Joey told you.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe,
Just do what you're
yeah.
told.
Different requirements and bullshit. Okay.
and then the local hazard mitigation plan, I don't know, Sean hasn't been in touch with us at all about that. That needs to be updated this year too, and he said, when I was talking to him about the emergency management plan, he said that the local hazard mitigation plan needs to be updated this year, that's in every 5 year, and this is the 5th year, so I said,
You gave it to us, I was gonna read through it.
yeah,
I couldn't find it.
I guess that's the same thing, go through it, and
Okay.
any adjustments, just review it.
Actually, is this it? My
So-
Mary Poppins bag?
Yep, that's it.
So,
Yep.
I'm not sure
That's
if
just
they
down.
moved yet or not, but, Zach and Joanna are supposed to have, I think they may have already moved, and so that daycare place is gonna,
Oh, and the other one, and the other thing, okay.
it hasn't changed yet.
I think we did take that one out. And we changed Armory and a few other things that popped up.
I don't know if this gets into those or not.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's places for all daycares and, or,
oh, in this one, I don't know.
no, it's the other one,
It's
you
the
just
other one,
signed.
yeah.
It's the other one you just signed, sorry.
This is more, yeah, this is more of a, if you have a flood event. Some of the federal grants that we go for, you have to have this updated. We'll be able to- we'll be eligible.
Yeah, so shoot an email or something, just ask them.
Yeah, I think 2016. Yeah, 2016 when it was done last. Approval date June 24, 2016. So it's due, yeah.
Are you gonna get to, I'm curious, the paving, did you guys decide on anything? Are you ready to do
Yep, we can, yes, yep.
that? Oh, yeah, where do you land?
I just gonna do the work. We got 2 sections on the Boston Post Road, one from the Tannery Four Corners up to Sandville where I left off last year, and then the other one from McAldich's Boston Post Repair,
Okay,
down through the Stonehouse. Which is
Oh, okay.
a section done with their grant, a paving grant,
yeah, okay.
shim and overlay.
And did they come in on their bid?
Yeah, they were what, 2-3 cents more or whatever it
Right,
was,
it
they
was
were
that.
about the same thing.
Exactly, okay.
And then we're gonna do the dirt piece from Duffy Hill to the bridge,
Oh,
but I don't know if that's gonna be able to happen, because it's gotta coordinate with the grant on the bridge, getting the bridge deck repaired, and then we wanna put a shim put a membrane
okay,
and pave the bridge deck, that's what the state suggests that we do.
okay,
So, if we could get the concrete work done,
right,
and then coordinate it with pipes, so and get the membrane done and pave or the bridge deck, but having a hard time getting a contractor to do the concrete work. Nolan Cody's gave me a price, Mark Cody did, and it's a reasonable price, I think, but he said he can't do it till October, then I'll do our paving in September.
oh, gosh.
Like, yeah, I've called Artie a couple times, but I think we're just busy, and
I've got those 2 pictures on my team.
and C-cards, the ones that are doing our other bridge, went and looked at it with me, but I never heard nothing back from them either. He said, oh, we'll run it by Jason, which is the owner, to see if there's interest in, because they're really swamped, need a lot of work, I guess, to see if there's any interest in it. I never heard back from him, so I assume that means they're not interested.
Right.
Too busy.
Okay.
But maybe they'll have to wait. We'll see how, maybe I can get Cody's to do it sooner. But, if I had to wait till next spring, get the bridge fixed and then do paving, then we just have to run that by fix it.
Okay.
So I'm not sure, that's up in the air. But the agreement with the other bridge, let's see.
That's on the agenda, and that's what I was gonna say, if you've
Okay.
done all your other stuff.
Well, I've got one other thing besides that to talk about, I think we should maybe consider trading our loader this year. It's 13 years old, got 10,500 some odd hours on it. We've got some money in the equipment replacement fund to do something. And so I think we should do something, because if we skip too many years or skip another year or 8 years, very quick we're gonna have 2-3 things that will come at the same time.
Right.
What year is that?
2008. 10,500-600.
544.
Yep.
You got anything in mind?
Hmm.
You got anything in mind?
These should be a pretty good trade value right now.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is, I was thinking about it anyways, and Nortrax called the other day and they had one that came back off a rental, like 500 hours on it, but it's got a quick coupler on it for different attachments. I don't think that's really what we want for working in the pit there. Where it would be too much movement all the time. It's just a standard order.
Oh, so the one you have now, you have one change the bucket and stuff, you do the Pennzoil?
Yeah, I mean, we don't ever change it, but, I mean, the one that they're offering, that's been out on rental, it's got, you can pull up to a set of forks, or,
Yeah.
it's got a set of forks to go with it, besides the bucket, but you can also buy any kind of attachment there to go up to it and hook up to it. We're just loading out a stockpile, sand pile in the winter time, that's, Montgomery's got one similar to that. Be fine, but working in the pit there, I think we just wear it out too fast.
Yeah, I mean, the one we have is quick couplers, but we don't work around with that. I mean, it's just
There's no attachments you would use, maybe you use them.
Forks would be nice, and rope would be nice too.
you still can get them, you just have to drive pins in and out.
Yeah, you could still do that.
Oh, you could. Oh, okay.
It's just not.
It wouldn't be easy to. Quick couple of pins are probably a little bit smaller. It's gonna be more playable.
I know this spring when I asked Nortrax how much a new John Deere, the same size as what we got, they said around 200,000. But I would think ours should be, he's supposed to come up, take a look at ours, he's supposed to be done that last Monday, but he didn't come up, so I don't know, I gotta call him again.
But I know we were looking for some for the fire last fall there. Yeah, things like this are 90, 100,000. You got good records, you took care of them.
Yep.
Of course, we had a third function too for hydraulic.
Yeah. I know, it's really high, no.
You don't need a third function, or you don't have one.
No.
They throw a price at you on that one they brought back in?
No, yes, he was supposed to come up and take a look at ours and then get some stuff together, but I haven't heard back from him yet, so.
Yeah, 'cause you've got, how many more years on the grader?
Now, the grader is 2006, so that's coming, not too many more years. That ton truck should go next year.
Yeah.
It's 7 years old now.
We learned a lesson on them, we don't need to hang them very long.
It's over 100,000 miles on it, and it's 7 years old this year, 21, so it'll be 8 years. And I kind of learned a little bit about them, and those guys, that's like where we bought this from White River, the guy that deals with those a lot, he said he sold them to the villages last time there too. He said if those are 7-year-old trucks, he said 7 years, you know, what you gonna get out of them.
Without having to start putting money in.
Yeah. And the loader and grader both, we kind of added bits and pieces as things, you know, having to put money into and do stuff to them. I think that we get the money, some money in the equipment replacement fund before we pile things up or keep things in circulation. The loader would be, the loader and the ton truck are next in line for. I think we should consider it. So if you're interested in considering it, get some prices.
I'd say, yeah, look into it.
See what they'll give us for hours.
Yeah, it's definitely better to look while your loader's still running good, and have to be forced to look, and then
Right.
the value of trading is gonna be really good.
And there's no.
And they've worked on, they know your history for years.
They say once you get to 10,000 yards, they'll just start doing stuff on the order.
Little ones.
It's very costly. And then it's one of those deals where you do too much to it and they'll fix it up now and keep it for another 5 years.
Right.
And their motors are fairly valuable. A lot of people, well, not every farmer's got one, at least one.
Yeah, we like the 544, and we just took, we got up to 624 this year. 544 has been a good machine.
Yeah.
Is this one you're looking at, is that also 544?
Well, yeah. The one he was talking
Yeah, I think we can, get some prices and stuff and look around and come back to us.
I don't know how that works if, you know, with, they go through the borders or what, but I think technically you don't have to, but we have men with the trucks.
Right.
They voted to budget the money for the equipment fund, so.
Right.
We didn't last time with the loader and grader because of this one.
Yeah, I think that's what it would be, anyways. I think that's what, it's a lease.
And technically highway doesn't have to, but you know, we can do
These-
about asking, you know, so it's all open, but I
Yeah.
think they would understand it.
Well, some things just, you know, make
It's
sense.
normal business.
Right.
It's not like you're buying a new thing that you
Extra
never had.
Right, an extra
You're not
piece.
buying one, you're not buying one and keeping one.
Right.
Making decisions to replace it when it's done.
Would you tell my wife I'm talking sensible about business?
It's on camera.
We'll get that shit.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Like all those other times where I'm like.
All right, what else you got, Joey?
No, that's it now, I guess.
All right, so you mentioned the Bridge 50, it's on the bottom of our agenda, but we should go into that now while Joey's still here, so he doesn't have to come back later. It's gonna have to be executive session. Or premature and public knowledge of comprised position in the town, and legal issues we can talk about.
I'll move. Second.
So Pierre Letourneau made a motion, Dean made a second motion to go to executive session. Go to Bridge 50. Any more discussion? If having none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, so we're out of the executive session now. No action was taken for executive session. So we'll move on to the next agenda item. So we're all set with you, Joey? Fine.
Yeah, see ya. Thanks, Joe.
All right, Andrew.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Didn't want to have you come back an hour from now. The last agenda item. All right, so you have quite a bit of stuff.
Just a few.
I My hearing topic back. I'm having a hard time finding my,
He's got other stuff besides the
the SOG.
we'll do the other stuff.
He was gonna be evaluated. I've given him the paperwork so he can start his evaluations with his people, which he's kind of
Oh,
started.
so we need to do
But we
his.
didn't do his 3-month one.
why?
So what I did was, because what I did was I sent an email to everybody on the crew. I basically sent them the same email I do on them, but I wanted them to evaluate me.
Oh, okay,
So
great.
I work close with them.
Yeah.
So I figured I got 2 back from them, it's optional. I don't know if you guys want to take a look at those. Those are from Ginger and Sam. I haven't even looked at them myself, I just took them, take photos right here. So
Well, that's a good idea.
I figured, I work close with them, they're gonna be the ones that really know.
Okay, so if we're gonna be doing that, we're gonna need to go into executive session.
Okay, so I'll move to go into executive to do employee evaluation.
Rico made a motion. So, I'll put a second on the motion for executive session for personnel employee matters. Any more discussion? Having none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. And we're now historically going back in executive session. Executive session. And we will move on. The next items Andrew needs to bring up.
So just an update, so I don't know if I talked about this before, the state of Vermont has created this Vermont only EMS licensure. It's called Vermont First Responder. Basically, what they've done is they've created this EMS license certification to allow to create a certified driver, basically. So in the state of Vermont, there's an EMS rule that says you have to have 2 certified members on the truck to be a legal crew. One of those certified members has to have an EMS license. So what they've done is they've created this first responder, Vermont only first responder, that is basic first aid, CPR, and AED. It's the American Heart Association course with a little bit of the National Registry's EMR, so you can legal, your ethical, lifting, moving patients information. Enosburgh is going to be holding that course, projected for October 2nd and 3rd. It'll be held here. It's a 2-day course, 16 to 20 hours total. It is a Vermont state license only. It'll give them basically it makes them a certified driver. They'll have a little bit of knowledge of stopping the bleed, so the Big Stop Bleed campaign, they're gonna get that. They'll have a little knowledge on the use of EpiPens and basically basic airway management, ABCs. In doing so, I talked to David Dean, the state training director. Franklin and Montgomery have a couple people interested. And she advised that with this license, they possibly will be able to get their agency license back at the first responder level. So that will help us in the sense that they'll have certified members that will respond as like a first responder, and then we can get there. If we have a Unit 2 call and it's one person in those areas, and we know one of the members on scene is certified, that potential person could take the ambulance, and now we've got a legal crew for transport. So I talked to both of them, something they're gonna look into, possibly interested in doing. So will help us, will help them. So that's done. I mentioned the seatbelt course, car seat course. Ginger, Sam, and I are taking every month. Some interesting stuff we're gonna do with that. And then just a couple things. One thing we thought about on the EMS side, our dryer vent. We're not sure when the last time that was cleaned out. And our worry is because it is so long, it goes from basically the middle of the building. It cuts across in that room, goes up to the ceiling, and then cuts across to the back wall and out.
That's how it goes.
That's how the
No
dryer vent
direct
is
anything?
long.
Maybe check with the firemen to see if they have something.
Yeah,
Where they prevent stuff.
Yeah,
They put out things.
Ginger
that
says
maybe
she's
they have
got something to clean it out with. I just didn't know when it was last cleaned.
Probably my father.
Probably if you ask, it needs to be
A long
done.
time ago.
That would be my fear, is probably a lot of lint buildup in there, and I don't want to address that.
Goes up.
That's-
Yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't do.
No.
Didn't have far to go.
Yeah,
Just relook
exactly.
hoses.
The other thing, the bathroom fan over there, it basically has gone into cardiac arrest and died.
In which bathroom?
The EMS bathroom. Or
Keep
our
pointing
bathroom.
that
Well, it kind of is, it's our bathroom on our side.
in the living quarters.
Yes,
Okay.
our living quarters. Basically, so the light and the fan are connected. Basically, the fan plugged into itself, where the wires are connected. We turn the light on and it just, the motor seized up. So I unplugged the fan, so now we can use light only. So that's just gonna need to be replaced. I'm not exactly sure what type of fan it's gonna need, something like that. And then the one other question that was brought up, the new building renovations we're talking about. Was there talk about checking the rooms, see if anything needed to be done with that? Because I know there's a couple places on our side where it leaks every once in a while,
They
or it has leaked in the
mentioned
past.
floors, windows, and doors. They didn't mention rooms.
Because I know Pierre, you had fixed one leak by the back door at one point, and there was that leak in the kitchen a while back. So,
Kitchen and where?
by the back door, in the crew quarters, the one that says intercept unit, which I always thought was painted on the door, and apparently it's just a magnet.
Oh.
I said, where's the intercept unit? We park our fly car back there. So,
Okay, so the roof.
yeah, it's probably nothing big that needs to be done.
Well, I
Maybe
know,
just
I
be a
know
couple
there
screws
are
and
some
screw down or
places
something.
that it's leaked in, I think the fire office,
Yeah,
the door office once.
yeah,
These look
yeah,
pretty
there's a couple spots there.
good. A lot of dead flies up there, but,
Yeah, but I don't know of any active leaks recently.
okay. I was sitting there after that.
So,
Okay.
thought on
Is that all?
that I can think of.
I always forget.
So what do we got next? Let's see.
All right, request for
Here.
chair cards.
You have a paper in front
You do, yeah?
I usually will do.
of you. No,
You
just,
do.
just you and. Different things. Actually, a picture of them on it.
Oh, here we go.
I think they need at least two.
Or they're just rolling around.
$211 each.
For here?
That was, it is $211.
Yeah, Mark brought that to me the other day, and he asked if I would bring them to you to see if you guys would approve it,
Yeah.
or
I
how
mean,
can we
most
approve those?
of those are like.
So it's basically
They're gonna jump.
a T-frame or whatever, and you get two rows of chairs that can stack on top of each
And they'll
other.
go through, and the jumpy ones are gonna go at the same time. and figure it out.
Who's this through?
You say you need two
He said
sets?
at least two, but we have to count the chairs to see actually. Looks like they've
Well, how
gone
many-
through them already, there's a look at the revenue.
How many fills on a rack here, Phil?
Okay, is it just the
Looks
rack?
like, how many what?
Yes, it's just the rack.
How many fill in a rack?
Oh, I don't know.
84.
Oh, I just need one?
84.
That only there's 84 chairs?
Yep, 84.
Oh, they're gonna use those same chairs?
They're going to get rid of the back ones.
Oh, okay.
I'll move that, we purchase one.
Yeah. Second.
So Peter Attorney made a motion, you go second a motion to purchase one set of the chair carts.
There's a picture of it.
Any more discussion? And having none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. So we purchase one set, and then, I mean, if it's smaller, what we think, we need another one. We can go ahead and do that. Contract, just needs to be signed for
Yeah, I guess we do.
dispatch,
Yeah.
so muscle it up, you're giving a
It's so much-
enthusiastic,
Well, it's so much money. And,
It was 16.
and I know the sheriff
it
wanted
was 16.
working
Was it
on
16?
creating his own dispatch,
Oh, that's right, he did discuss
but I
that.
don't think he's gotten anywhere with it. I mean, he's been pretty busy trying to staff.
Maybe that was years ago. The car.
Yeah,
What was
I was
dispatch?
gonna say you're probably the 30,
It was
40.
2% less.
Oh, it's only 2%?
It went up 2%.
Oh, see,
It's still a long in some.
So what is it now?
32, yeah.
Yes.
And who does that cover? Just salaries?
They didn't tell us our age.
Must be an office space or
Right.
all that.
I'm moving into the old CCD building shortly.
Oh, that big new building with
The
the,
CCD building, that's
Yeah,
their
the
new building.
police, yeah, the police station.
Yeah, that's where dispatch is moving.
We need a
And the
motion
police station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for EMS contract of $32,844.
I'll move.
Second.
You may made the motion, Paul Rico second the motion to sell. Any more discussion? Having none, all those in favor of accepting the agreement, signify by saying aye. All those opposed, say nay. Oh, I'm supposed to write this one. Minutes from the previous meeting?
I have a suggestion on the minutes, where it says Susie Hall, Pennsylvania, Heavy Volunteer came in to discuss Opera House grants and historic placement. Maybe just state what the outcome was from that.
Thanks,
we don't have really think, I mean,
Thanks,
just
Andrew.
have Larry sign how to meeting, right? Is that what you mean?
The board agreed to grant the easement with the historical society. What is it,
Yeah. Motion for Larry to sign off table for Opera House.
for Opera House grant? Okay, yeah,
Well, that's actually for the easement.
was it for the easement?
Oh,
Yeah.
for the easement.
Do you have it? Oh, and can we put somewhere in there, just, you know, for historical record, that it was, the easement was for 15 years and only applied to the outside of the building? Put that in there. Yeah.
Entertain any motions to approve on those changes. Let's see, who's the first one? Holly, we go made a motion to approve those changes. Put it on to a second motion. Any more discussion? Having none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. July 19th, to approve.
Oh, I just out of curiosity with Anthony's, did the health officer, did contact the
It did. So she went and she looked, and she said, she called me back and she honestly, there isn't any more than
I
any
went by.
average
I did
place.
too.
Okay.
She's like,
Yeah.
it's not scattered about. She said, it's not to the point where I can even, she said, I went to go and go knock on the door, have a conversation to say, how is everything? And she said, nobody answered, but she said, it really is. They won't policy like everybody else, but she said. it's
That's why I thought maybe she'd already talked and they cleaned it up
She
already,
went
because
that
I didn't
day
see any
after
extra
the
files.
meeting, and she said there was none. And I said, not even like in the grounds?
Okay. All right, thank you.
Quotes for fire and Armory buildings for window and door repair and replacement.
So the person.
Windows are 10 weeks out if we order now.
So this building really can get away with just a couple of window replacement, mostly it's just replacing glass, cleaning the tracks, cleaning the seals, just good maintenance on these windows. Just repairing what we already have, saving us a ton of money. Couple doors do need replacing, most of them just need cleaning like the windows. It's still a big number, but it's definitely less than it would be if we had window replacements.
Right.
And that's just windows and doors, that's not anybody for the phone. The next person coming in is supposed to work on it.
So that's not including like, stuff that I think we brought up tonight.
No, I'm just hearing about the tank cars, But he's basically gonna work on every door that exits the building, clean up the plates at the bottom, check the latches, fix where there's rust, grind it down, paint them. The one outside that leads up the parking lot from the fire bay definitely needs replacement, it's water right through. The other ones can be saved.
Where's this guy?
Safety
Yeah.
measures.
No other quotes or?
There wasn't, I talked with Larry and said, send some people this way, if you ran into any carpenters. I asked a few people, called on the phone, and they're like, I
Just
booked until winter, I
so
booked until
behind.
winter. And, so it wasn't a long line meeting, I could do it to talk to me. But I did like the fact that he's trying to save what we have and not cost us a ton of money.
Yeah, he's very conscientious. Yep.
And the number for the Armory obviously is much bigger. The ones he can save at the Armory are like, remember the day that we were going through and you and Phil opened one of them? And took two of you to close it. Like he said, those completely savable window just need some cleaning of the tracks and fixing of this and that. So some windows at the Armory can be saved, most of them can't because they're either single pane, plexiglass,
Oh my gosh.
or you can't see through them. So at the Armory, it's a much bigger number because most of them do need to be replaced.
And will they all match even if you replace it? versus,
In a sense, yes.
Well, the sections of the building, like the front windows are all savable, but then you turn to the next side of the building and they'll all match because they'll all be new. So they won't all be the same window in the building,
right,
but sections will all match.
Okay.
as-
So there won't be
One wall.
one
Right,
over, one
right.
below.
Right, because the only ones
Right.
that really can be saved are the front ones. And those front three offices
okay.
are really the only ones that are savable.
okay.
Everything else, like the kitchen ones, single pane. Single pane, you don't see that very much. Not very much.
No, exactly.
And, few of them are plexiglass.
Okay.
It's a big number, but
Efficiency for non-anybody.
efficiency for mom is one of the least helpful. So just didn't
I
say.
would concur.
You know, they have these big advertisements. You call them and they're like, here is what we do. And they send you a list of people who are contractors. And if the contractors don't know what to do, like, as far as rebates, you're out of luck, because they're not gonna send anybody up to help you, they're not gonna send any suggestions.
Huh.
Which I thought that's what they did, they send somebody out. They say, this is what you should do, this is how you can save money. It's not what they do.
Huh.
You just, I don't know what to do. Kind of useless. I mean, I think they should go into a building and see how they can save you money, energy.
There's 32 windows?
In the armory,
Yeah.
because of the ones that are up above and those that big one.
Yeah, so the exterior main entrance door, that's the one we were talking about,
That's the front
where
door.
the concrete slab is.
Right, why we call it as a terrace.
Yeah.
But it's actually, and I was going to mention this to you, I did see a quote on the back door, and the back door is the one you can actually see through, you know, the back double doors by the overhead door. Is there one, I think maybe I misread it, but I didn't see, because you can actually see daylight up.
Well, if he's able to save it, we'll just put in weather stripping.
Okay. I mean, I feel like it has to be done.
And in a sense, that's just more of the exterior. That doesn't include any of the interior stuff when we start.
No, exactly.
Proposing that.
Yeah, I know, that's why, when there was an article in the paper that said, it's only gonna cost what, 20 grand or something, and that was, whatever it was, it was
Yes,
actually
and it
for
was
the
just
same.
it was just for the vault.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't know what the exact number is, but it's gonna go much more than that. What, you know what that line item is?
Well, the line item
Because it
to
also
repair was
includes
for
this.
$45,000 for repair of building. We're definitely gonna go over that with just this building alone.
Was that what we put in, and then we had some previous?
How good?
Some of the previous was actually painting in the opera house, and
I thought it was
those,
46 total.
let's hope they are, we
Yeah,
can use more.
no, exactly.
You know there's never more later.
Yeah, 'cause this is a big green here.
Okay, so we have 46.5 and we put another 30 in this year. So 76.5. But my
Yeah.
suggestion is to use the 76.5 on this building for
Well,
repairs.
some of that is going through painting the opera house.
No-
Or did we
no
strip
painting
that
of the
out?
Opera House
We stripped that out, put a different line item.
was a different one, so.
That's right.
So I think that use the money we have in the fund for this building, and then, just take a note out for repairs to the armory, and just have it set aside. People can, I mean, it's still free building, you know, we still have to remember that it's still free
Right,
building.
if it costs
And if we can show them this is the expenses of the opera house, and the armory, and even mixed up,
Just use-
that, I think that'll be better.
I think it'd be more than a million.
Oh, with these windows, right?
Oh,
If you
yeah,
have a
you
building,
got a
That's
building
big.
that size to accommodate that,
or even just a town clerk's
yeah,
office.
you're talking millions of dollars. I mean, no land, buying all that.
Or a salt shed. Right.
Maybe for a salt shed.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you said, they said 10 weeks out for windows.
I think
If
that's
we
what-
order.
I think that's what he's, he's the window guy.
So I feel like,
Here?
I feel like we should. Do we need a motion for that?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll move to go ahead and order, or to pursue this quote. And get that windows ordered,
For both.
both buyer and
No.
renter.
Both of you, so. Armory buildings. Is that in line here, these prices, probably really good.
Are they this year's prices, or would they be pretty, like if we, well, we can't. Would these come down significantly?
No.
You don't think so? Okay,
No.
they're in line with, okay. I mean, I know windows are wicked expensive, like this, and one of the most expensive parts of building a house is the window.
Yeah, I'll second it.
So you made a motion?
No, probably did.
Polarico made a motion. Dean Wright seconded the motion, to accept the quotes for the Armory and EMS building, windows ordered. Any more discussion?
So the payment schedule, they quite often go that way, we pay 50% right up front.
It says 50%.
An example payment schedule, well, it says, why is it an example? It says,
Say the people's option.
upon agreement and award of this living document, 50% of estimated labor costs will be required for start of the proposed job. As word is completed in sections, remainder payment to be made. Example payment schedule.
But we would be paying, we would be buying the P6, we would buy the
Yeah, that part right here, just the other part, when you have to go for chemical and all that stuff. Windows and glass and all that.
Yeah.
It's just gotta be billed directly to us, to you guys. City, town, I don't want anything over that.
Right.
Any more discussion?
Did you have a timeline when the funds could do work?
I think probably, I walked him around with kids, I think, lengthy conversations about it.
It's one of availability. So it's one of those that if we can get anything that's the same on the windows that we have to replace, 10 weeks.
But most of them were up here.
But most of them are up here,
It's,
but even-
but we might be 10 weeks on the army.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, this stuff up here,
It's
it
not be fine.
could be that he's got, these glasses available. But what you have today and what you got tomorrow, two different things. Could be already sold out. But he's available.
So the update on the Armory is,
Where we at?
oh,
We're still,
we're still on
we're
that.
still in discussion.
Okay. I thought I motioned it second.
Yeah, but then we have discussion.
Oh, yeah.
I'm asking too many questions.
No, I think
No,
it-
you're fine, I just am getting
Hey, but I
lost.
didn't catch that on the estimated payment schedules.
Yeah.
We just hate to pay for it now and have him not do it until
Right.
who knows what.
Yeah.
My thought.
I mean, just an example, though, somebody gets involved.
What we change here? Here, you can hang out the pier.
Yeah, exactly.
No, okay, no joking aside. Any more discussion? If having none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. All those opposed, say nay. All right, Pierre, we've got approval to get the windows coming, I guess. See where time frame will get us here. BJ will be in by Christmas. Yeah, make it happen.
Yeah,
Start blowing grass.
like everybody else.
All right, so Polly is gonna give an update.
Yep, so the update is I checked in and said, where are we at? So if you remember the last time we talked, the building assessment, which means that we're gonna go in and look at the building materials. How do I do this without getting confusing? So remember the first, that we already got one little assessment that said, you know, their tiles, they know those are gonna be asbestos, right? So we got that little assessment, that was done by LEE engineers, okay? Well, when regional said, right, we have the money for the assessment, but that group, LEE engineers, isn't on our list of people. Because you know how with state funding, they have to go by the list. She goes, which means we might have to start at the beginning. But the good news is that the company that was on the list that they chose is gonna subcontract LEE, so they don't have to start at the beginning. So most, or a good portion of the assessment is already done. So now I was talking with BJ today, I need to now touch base with her and say, okay, so now that that's all taken care of, what's the timeline for getting there? So it sounds like we're at a point where they just need to go in and finish up the assessment for building materials. I have not heard at this point about the tank, but I knew that they were waiting, they knew they had money, they were just waiting for it, the tank being removed, but that's months as in the yank for that one, as I know that's the building materials, but, so I gotta find out about that. But, that's where we're at.
Okay, now these windows and doors, if they come back before this assessment comes back, we have to hold out on that?
I don't know. I mean, I would think not, just because you're not, but I don't know, I mean, you're not like removing anything other than just the windows, it's not
Well,
like
they
you're.
did tell you that when I asked if the electrician could get in there and start working on the lights.
Yeah, because he might have to get up and see.
Well, I'm worried about the ceiling.
Well, that's why I think they were like, yeah, wait, and the same thing with flooring, they're like, yeah, wait, but windows, I mean, I'm not a builder, I don't know what could possibly be in the windows that would be contaminants, but. Yeah, but maybe 10 weeks, like you said, it might be done by then. Also, I'll get on that and see where we're at for a timeline.
All right, that's all I have on this agenda list, and we got some warrants. I think for our next meeting, we may want to have Sean in here. We should have, getting some updates, what's going on his front. Since we haven't been zooming anymore, we haven't seen him anymore.
He was, he would have sent me or something. Oh. Oh, he did send me something. He was asking about municipal planning grant, he's been working with regional and with the community development, Vermont community development, about priorities for the municipal planning grant. He said, unless we have a project in mind with the Opera House, Rec Fields, or Armory projects in play, I'm not sure we want to start something new for the sake of just applying for it. I did have a thought about bylaws update, review modernization. And so there is a grant coming up for the updated bylaws because apparently regional, because there were such needs in communities around COVID, economic recovery, fair and affordable housing, and master planning. There was such need that they were saying that they were gonna put out a different grant instead of the municipal planning grant, which is what we've always used in the past to do that. They're putting out a separate grant just for updating bylaws, and that's coming out. So that's what Greta said to him when she copied me on. And he said we should use that for the bylaws.
Yeah, is that
And he's copied Jesse on the email too.
the zoning bylaws?
Zoning bylaws, because the thought is, when Jesse and Shaylee were here, we were talking about that we should put the village and the town together, and then a fee structure. So Sean did copy Jesse on that email. What else? That was,
We don't really have any projects in play right now.
well, that's why he said, I don't think we should apply just for the sake of applying.
It's with these projects that we have.
Oh, with those, yeah, basically, because all of those are up in the house, up in the air, unless we have a project already in mind, like a project in mind for
Maybe
the
it sounds
Opera
like
House.
he's saying we have so many projects going right
No.
now.
Unless we have a project in mind for the Opera House, or the Rec Fields, or the Armory, I'm not sure where to start with something new. So he's like, unless, but given those bullets, none of those really apply to those projects.
Well, whatever one they do go for, they have to be almost guaranteed, because if the villages are, ours aren't on make sure, but if the villages are, they have to make sure that at least that portion is completed.
Well, so, and that's why he said, so Greta responded, that's what's in, Greta responded and said, there's a separate pot of funding that will be used for bylaw modernization. I would highly recommend that Enosburgh Town and Village go after that grant for bylaw revisions, which is not announced yet. Local and statewide, yeah. So that was that.
That's one good.
That was, he attached what Greta's response was to him about it. What else? Oh, he put together, yeah, he should come tell you, because he's sending me all this stuff, and he should come to the board.
Well, I was thinking about that too, because we're kind of, we're kind of like the eval we did tonight with Andrew. But how can we do an eval on him when we don't really know what's going on? And could he do something like, you get your timesheets,
Yeah,
and I worked on, kind of an
Right.
update, and there's a compilation of what he's doing, and we know what he's working on.
Yeah.
He can send emails and text, but if you put it on
Right.
paper copies,
yeah, exactly.
we could track what he's, because that's what the unfortunate thing that happened with the pandemic. The job started, and we never really were able to sit down and say, this is how this should look and how we should proceed here. And now we're coming back out of it, and we're gonna have a new building and stuff, but we don't know what his, what's the schedule, what is he working on today,
Yeah.
or what's he working on next week. And then we were expected to do an eval on him,
Right. No, exactly.
and how's that gonna work?
Yeah, so call him.
All right, so like I said, just a warrant, so do you wanna close the meeting and go through the warrants?
Yeah.
I'll move.
I'll second.
So Pierre Turner made a motion to close the meeting, Harvey go second on the motion. Any more discussion? If having none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those not, say nay. We are now adjourning at 8:45.